Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing this matcha latte eye look. If you want to see how I got this look, keep on watching. I already started prepping my face. I just used the CL Tint and Protect SPF 50. This is a sunscreen. It's a mineral sunscreen basically. And I have melasma, as I talk about a lot in my videos, but basically a tinted mineral sunscreen is best for melasma. It provides the best protection. So I'm using this underneath my makeup today. And I'm going to use the Pure Satin Matte Foundation. This is something that I don't typically use a lot, but I used to use this all the time. I have acne prone skin, and mineral foundation is really good for acne prone skin. The only problem is that it can be a little drying, so you want to make sure you prep your face accordingly. So I've already applied my color corrector, my Bobbi Brown color corrector. I'm going to go in with any liquids first before I go in with my powder. So I'm going to use my Hourglass concealer. This is Sepia. I like to mix phase 2 and 3 for the Pure foundation, and I use the brush that goes with it. It's the foundation brush, and I love this brush. So I'm just going to pack that on, trying not to get it in my hair. But yeah, I'm just buffing it in my skin, but I'm not really like swiping it because I have that discoloration on my cheeks. If I just pat it in like this, everything stays put. Of course, we still want it to look blended, but with powder foundation, you want to lay it down first and then you can pat it in a little bit more, or buff it in a little bit more. Now I'm going to kind of buff it in a little bit more. Now that I've laid it down on my skin, just buffing into the skin so that everything looks even. I used to wear this every single day because my acne was really bad about 5 years ago. And so I would wear a tinted sunscreen and powder foundation, and that was like my base. And honestly, it's not too shabby. You just gotta make sure you prep. Like I said, if you have mature skin, prep and make sure your skin's like hydrated. I did a little exfoliation beforehand. Something that's essential is like a setting mist just to hydrate and mesh all the powders in together. So I'm going to use the Pure Luminous Shimmer Blush. Actually, before I do that, let me go in with the Lily Lolo Wakiki. So this is like warmer, as you can tell, and I'm just going to take that and get some of that off first. But like that's kind of has like a shimmer to it, and I'm just going to lightly place that all over my face just to give like a bronzy look to my face. I don't want to put too much on just because it is very warm and luminous, but if you do the right amount, it looks really pretty. Then I'm going to use my Bare Minerals in Warmth. Oh, I used to use this all the time. This one you also want to go very light-handed. I'm just going to use this much in the cap, swirl the same brush around, and really evenly distribute that. And I'm going to keep this more as like a contour, but it's not really a contour. So it's just deepening that bronzer I put on. And I'm just lightly layering this because it can get very dark very quickly. So you want to go light-handed with these minerals because they can be very pigmented. Something else that helps too is holding the brush towards the back so it's not as like firm of pressure. All right, I think the skin is skinning right now. This is all mineral products so far. So now I'm going to use the Alima Pure Luminous Shimmer Blush in the shade Freya. I'm honestly just going to stick to the same brush. This is my Lancome number 5. This works really well, I'm finding, for mineral. So I've got the blush, and I'm just kind of tapping off the excess, and then holding the handle towards the back, and just swiping that on. If you build the mineral powders lightly, instead of just going straight in with like a bunch at one time, it can look really beautiful on the skin. For a little extra luminosity, I'm going to go in with this MAC Extra Dimension blush in Hushed Tone. This is such a pretty color. Oh, it's so pretty. But I'm basically going to keep it kind of towards the back of my cheek. Again, I'm just tapping that off. And I'm just going to keep it on the high point of my cheek. But it's just going to give a little bit more luminosity, and the shade is so pretty. I love these blushes from MAC, along with their Glow Play blushes. I'm going to spray my face with this Refi setting spray. It's really important to set the powder because it can look less powdery if you just set it, and it just kind of meshes all the powders together. More lightly with a beauty blender just to mesh everything together even more. Just go very light. So complexion is done. I'm going to move into eyes, which I'm super excited about. So I am going to use my MAC paint pot first. This is in soft ochre. And I like using this because it's full coverage and it provides a really nice base. If you're going to do a little bit more of an elaborate, more colorful, creative eye look. So today I plan to do that. And I think I'm going to name this, like I'm going to do like a new color series, I think, where I do colorful looks because I love doing colorful looks. I don't feel like I do it enough, and it's something that brings me a lot of joy in doing. So I don't know what I'm going to name it yet. Just let me know your thoughts. And this kind of gives like a little bit of a highlight to the nose. So I'm just going to let that set in first. The palette that I want to use today is Wildwood Alter Ego. And it looks like this. It has a lot of like olivey kind of tones. So I think that'll look really nice with what I'm going for. I'm going to take a little bit of the Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is the talc version, not the talc free. The reason I say that is because I feel like this works a little bit better at setting like eyeshadow primers and kind of prepping the eyes. I don't know, there's something about this formula that just makes the eyeshadows sit better. And I've been dealing with patchiness on my eyelids, so I definitely am just trying new things. You don't want to do this if you're going to go in with like liquids, but if you're going to go in with powder, it's a good way. I kind of want to do like a mini cut crease today, so I'm going to start out with the shade Moss right here. And this is like a olivey tone. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the brush. So it's very olivey. I'm just going to take this in the crease. I'm going to go in with this one. It's a Natasha Denona Retro palette. I'm going to use this shade right here just to blend the top of this little cut crease thing we got going on. I'm going to put that on my lid and kind of in the outer corner. mostly on the outer corner and a little bit on my lid. Not all the way in though, just mostly on the outer part. This is such a unique color. I love it. It's so pretty. Like, look at it. I don't know if you can see it, if it's translating on camera. I'm still gonna mix some of this shade Honey, which is like this shade right here, and put that over to intensify like the outer corner here. I just want to blend these edges with a clean brush here. Just blending the edges. I'm going to take that original moss shade and actually deepen the outer corner with that. I don't really like the shape going up like that, so I'm just going to connect it, that up into the crease, and just intensifying like this outer corner here. I'm going to take a little bit of moss and pollen on the lower lash line. There. Just kind of connecting that with the top. I'm going to take my foundation brush and just kind of clean up around these edges a little. So I have the MAC pencil in Chestnut. It's a lip pencil, but I'm going to use it on my eye as well. So I did like a little baby wing with this Chestnut pencil. Let me do the other side and I'll be right back. There we go. And then just take my fingers and just do that. Look even. I want to take, this is where I'm super excited. It's the Melt Slick Waterline Eye Pencil in the shade Olive. Like, this is my favorite color. I don't know if they still have this in stock, but I had to use it on my lower waterline. And I'm gonna pair it with this ColourPop cream gel liner. And I don't know what color this is. It's green though. It looks like this. And it's kind of like metallic-y. So I think this is gonna look really pretty. Look how pretty that is. I don't know, I just feel like that's so pretty. Now I'm going to add some sparkle to the look. And I kind of want to do it like just on like the liner on the mobile lid part. I'm going to dip into this golden shade right here in the Alter Ego palette over the brown liner in the middle. Can you see that? So it just adds a little extra. And I'm going to take this shade Thrive, which looks like this, and just put that over it as well. So I'm just kind of mixing the two. I'm going to tight line my upper lash line with Chantecaille Earth. I'm going to take my Natasha Denona palette and this white shade right here. And I'm going to just carve out this area. And this is kind of where I'm doing a mini cut crease, but not really. It's just like a very subtle cut crease, I guess you could say. I do want to use a little bit of concealer. I feel like there's a little bit of fallout right here, and it's making me look like darker on that area. So I'm using a little bit of my concealer right there, just to clean things up. And I'll just take it in here too, just why not? Just want to clean it up a little. Everything's kind of powdered down, but the Hourglass, it works over powder, I feel like, because it is, I don't want to say like dry formula, but it's not like super serum-y. So I feel like you can get away with it. I'm going to use the MAC blush in Hush Tone and just fill in that area. I might need to go in with my setting spray again. Okay. But that just looks a lot more fresh here. It was a little fallout. For mascara today, I'm going to use my MAC Stack Chestnut mascara. It's a brown mascara, but first I'm going to chroma lashes. So this is a very pretty color. I could have used my YSL one, the Lash Clash, but that one's kind of on its last legs, and this is really pretty. So the mascara is on, but I just want you to look. I don't know if you can see on camera, but like, look at my lashes, how long they are. I've been using Sweet Beauty eyelash serum, and I kid you not, this serum is definitely working. I've never seen my lashes this long before. This is incredible. Like, it almost looks like I'm wearing false lashes. Like, I'm blown away. Okay, so I used the Mac Stack in Chestnut, and I'm just debating if I want to do like an inner corner, like brighten up the inner corner a little bit, and I think I definitely do. So I'm gonna use this shade right here called Zest. And I think this is what's gonna make it a little bit more matcha-y. So I'm gonna put that like in the inner corner, just a little, like right here. Just like adding that right here, kind of. It's like subtle, but you can still see it. And like maybe, let's see. I'm gonna use the Yucca palette, Natasha Denona. I'm gonna use this Kohlrabi shade. I'm going to put a little bit of that in the inner corner, right over that Zest shade from the Alter Ego palette. This is just a little sparkle to give it a little something. I'm going to use my Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette. This is the Blooming Romance. And I'm going to use the shade, scratch that. I'm going to use Chestnut by MAC as a liner. So I used Chestnut. It's a little dark, so I want to lighten it up. And I'm going to use my Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette, one of my favorites. Let me get a brush here. And I'm going to just use like a cooler tone. I'm going to use Chiseled and just kind of contour around that chestnut shade. So this is just going to give it like some shading. That's pretty. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the Groundwork Blooming palette. This is also Danessa Myricks. I want to use more of like a peachy shade, so I think I'm gonna go with this one right here, which is Desire. I'm gonna use this. I love the Danessa Myricks palettes because they're so versatile and you can use them and mix and match colors. It's just, I love it so much. I feel like it needs a little bit more. Let's see. That's pretty. Should I keep it matte or add a gloss? I kind of like it matte, to be honest. Okay, but if I wanted to add a gloss, I think I would add the Dior Maximizer in 004. Let me just do a little. This is kind of like a coral shade. I'm gonna add a little bit of that. And then a little bit of the 038 shade. It's like a beige. I'm just gonna add some of that as well to tone down the coral. But this is gonna give a little plumpness to the lips. And then one last thing, I'm going to use the House Labs Peach Quartz highlighter. I just feel like I want some highlighter. This is so pretty. I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury spray. And that, my friends, is the final look. We made it. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.